I've been thinking over the last few days about how my life has changed over the years, and what brought this on was that I actually discovered my old blog page from about roughly 10 years ago, and it's sort of, I'd completely forgotten about it. I haven't updated it in like 4 years or something, and when I was going through all the old entries, it was sort of strange to sort of think about how much my life has changed over such a short period of time. Now, I thought I'd do a quick trip down memory lane to before the One Pot Chef. 10 years ago, it was the year 2000. I was 19 years old. I had just left high school about a year beforehand. I'd graduated and finished high school. I was working in a service station, or a convenience store as Americans will call them. Essentially, I was doing all the night shifts, so I had a fair amount of money coming in, and so I was basically just sort of working at nights. Days off, I was just doing whatever I wanted to do. I was very heavily involved in the local gay community. I was helping to run the local gay nightclub. I was doing all sorts of things, and it's sort of strange to think how much my life has changed over the years, because, like, flash forward to 10 years later, I am not working anymore because of a workplace accident. I basically have changed everything in my life. I mean, I'm no longer involved with the nightclub. I haven't been involved in it in many, many years now. I don't really go out nightclubbing or that sort of type thing. In fact, I have very little association with the gay community these days at all. I've actually really enjoyed taking on this challenge of YouTube and doing my cooking videos and doing these little blogs and things like that, because it's become virtually my job, it's become my life, and it's a fantastic thing. I really enjoy it. And other things that have changed in my life, I mean, my whole attitude, friendships are a good example. Back when I was 19 in the year 2000, I was surrounded by hundreds of people. I had lots of friends, and these days it's not exactly the same at all. When you're 19, you will have heaps of people around you, and every single person is your best friend forever. But when you get older, you discover sort of the difference between sort of associations and acquaintances and genuine friends. I don't have hundreds of people buzzing around me anymore. I have maybe 6 or 7 really, really good friends, like people who are not friends so much as they are family now. They are part of my life, and I find it difficult to believe that these people will not be part of my life in the future. They are a part of me. I think the reason that this brought it up is because I was looking at the calendar the other day, and I saw that it's 2010, and I think it was only then that it actually sank in that it was 2010. And I know that sounds strange, but it only feels, at least from my perspective, that about a year or so ago that it was the year 2000, because that was, I would safely say back then, was probably the high point of my life, where I really I was popular, and I was working, and I was having fun, and I had money, and I was doing all sorts of fantastic things, and I had the whole future ahead of me. And today, I think I've mellowed out a bit more. I'm definitely not as free and easy as I used to be. In fact, I've actually become a bit of a boring old fart, because I worry about the future, I worry about how I'm going to pay the bills and do things and stuff like that, and I think that's normal, because that's part of growing up. And there are other things that have just sort of changed about me as well. I mean, I'm not as approachable as I used to be, and I know that a lot of people think that I'm sort of this happy, jolly fellow who does these cooking videos and things like that. But in my real life, I'm actually quite reserved and private. I don't go out a lot. I'm very much a homebody. I don't make new friends very often, only because I have been hurt a lot of times recently. Well, not recently, but over the last few years, I've been making friends with people who've turned out to not be very good friends at all, and I think that's sort of made me a bit more reserved and a bit more cautious about integrating new people into my life. But that being said, I'm not some sort of raging snob or creepy weirdo loner or anything like that. Like, as I say, I've got people in my life. But yeah, it's just amazing to look back and think about how much your life's changed over what is a relatively short period of time. So I'm going to put the question out to you guys. How much has your life changed in the last 10 years? Is there sort of like these major events that have occurred that have fundamentally altered your life? Like with me, obviously there was the accident which has injured me and left me with a damaged back and all that sort of stuff. Did you have a defining moment that has sort of speared your life in direction? Perhaps you met the person of your dreams and got married and had kids and got a mortgage and a dog and a garden gnome, or I don't know, whatever. Tell me in the comments or make a video response telling everyone about how your life has changed over the last 10 years. Oh, that's another thing that changed over the last 10 years. There wasn't any YouTube 10 years ago. That's the weirdest thing. If I went back in time and told myself, in 10 years' time, you're going to be making videos on the internet, I would have looked at you like you were insane. Like, that's really strange. There was no Twitter or Facebook or YouTube or anything like that. So even the way we communicate has changed. So if there's a few ideas for you to make a video, you tell me how things have changed in the last 10 years for you. And I cannot wait to see what everyone comes up with. So I will talk to you later.